Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. Sad stuff last night, second half. Just brutal. LSU got absolutely dusted. Brian Kelly went to the podium after the game and had some pretty pointed remarks. I'll tell you this, since Brian Kelly took this job, and I can't claim to have watched a lot of Notre Dame Brian Kelly press conferences, and certainly no Cincinnati Brian Kelly press conferences, but he's just been very, very candid at every turn, whether it's a moment of levity, a joke, or in moments where things haven't gone very well. And last night he talked about this being the first piece of adversity for this football team.
This is a total failure on a coaching standpoint and a player standpoint that we have to obviously address and we have to own. And we'll see. I know adversity is always going to strike at some time in this game, and this is our first real piece of adversity, if you will, that we have to address. And I'm confident our guys will and our coaches will rally in the manner that they need to.
A couple of things from a coaching perspective that you can analyze in this game. One was the decision to go for the early fourth downs. Of course, LSU hits the big play to Trey Bradford, which, by the way, as an aside, why does anyone even listen to me do this show? Like, we talked all August about who was going to be in the running back rotation, who was going to get the ball, who was going to start. I don't even mention Trey Bradford. He gets to start and catches a 60-yard pass to start the season. But in any event, LSU goes down, and you've got a 4th and goal, and they decide to go for it. I didn't hate it at the time. If you don't get it, you're going to make Florida State go a long field, trying to just strike first and take the momentum. I thought that was okay. Second one, I thought about the points there. I thought about taking the points. Feels like you had taken a haymaker from Florida State. Things were a little wobbly, and you had a chance to take a lead there. And I thought maybe that was an opportunity, and it just didn't work out. But Brian Kelly talked about the decision to go for the 4th downs that they failed on.
Well, I think they were pretty easy calls. 4th and goal from the 1. That was a pretty easy one. We're trying to run the football with an option for Jaden to pull it, and we'll have to just go back and look at the film and see what the looks are for him and do a better job of addressing that in practice and giving him those kinds of, pressure looks that force you to make those quick decisions. But no, those are pretty standard 4th down calls and decisions. I think both of those were, read option kinds of decisions that Jaden was confronted with.
That dovetails into maybe the surprising aspect of this thing. I'm not surprised that Florida State gashed LSU through the air. That's not surprising. I was surprised that LSU had no success running the ball. That surprised me a lot. I didn't think LSU would just take whatever they wanted on the ground, but I did think with a veteran offensive line that's got some NFL talent on it, that LSU would be able to get some push and establish a modicum of a running game. And they just flat didn't. Now, this is one of Hester's least favorite things to do, but if you just walk with me through this, it's not disingenuous. Josh Williams had a 35-yard run on 3rd down late in the 2nd quarter. You'll remember it. It was a long 3rd down. They ran the draw. Williams got loose on the right side and had a big play that ended up getting LSU some points. And that's a great play. I'm thrilled that they got the 35 yards and that ended up working and getting them points. But outside of that run, not saying take it away, just outside of that run, your backs had 11 carries for 14 yards. That's nothing. You're getting a yard a carry from your backs. And that's because they just could not block. And that goes back to the 4th down calls and the decisions to go for it. And you're not getting any push. You heard Kirk Herbstreit on the call, and it was actually from Holly Rowe down on the sideline, saying that the Florida State defensive linemen were pointing at Miles Frazier, saying, this guy is soft, we can take advantage of this guy, let's roll. and that may be the case, it may not be the case, I don't know. I'm not in the trenches there, but Florida State felt like they were the badder dudes up front. And I said this a bunch of times last week, like, if LSU's going to win this game, they're going to have to win it up front because they've got some disadvantages on the outside. They're going to have to win it up front with the pass rush. They had no sacks. They're going to have to win it up front running the football, keeping Florida State's offense off the field, and keeping Jared Verse out of pass rush situations. They got smoked at the point of attack by Florida State, just smoked. They got some pressure on Daniels, and LSU could not run the ball at all. And Brian Kelly was asked about the inability to run the ball, and this was his explanation.
Well, I mean, everybody's searching for balance in the running game, so we didn't have the kind of balance that we needed. Logan Diggs was a coach's decision. I don't know quite whether he's 100% and able to practice at the level that we need him to quite yet. Yeah, I mean, look, everybody's looking for that balance in the running game. You saw what we tried to do. We tried to run the football in those very important downs, and we weren't as effective. And we're going to go back and we're going to work on it, and we're going to continue to be diligent in those areas because we've got to be better at it.
I do think that LSU will improve running the ball. I'm as skeptical as I am on that secondary, and I don't know how that's going to improve. I will say that I think the offensive line can get better. We'll see if Lance Hurd eventually wins a role at right tackle and they bump Emory Jones down. We'll see if they stick with the veteran guys, but I do think that they're going to be better. And again, it's another one of those points where you say, okay, how good is Florida State? Because if that front is elite, maybe that's the reason it went like it did. If that front is just solid and LSU sees a bunch more like that, and that's the output you get from your running backs, you got a significant issue on your hands. And I think LSU will be better at running the ball. I thought they would run it better than they did last night. They just could not do anything. And it puts far, far, far too much pressure on Jaden Daniels to basically do everything. He's got to be the running game. He's got to avoid the pass rush. He's got to make all the throws down the field. Like, he's basically piloting the entire offense, and we saw too much of that at times last year. Got to take some pressure off of him by figuring out how to run it, whether that's more creative runs, whether that's getting Diggs back, whether that's getting Emory back, whether that's shaking things up on the offensive line. One way or another, you've got to fix that, because you having your backs outside of one carry going for 11 carries for 14 yards, you're going to get your butt kicked at most Saturdays. But again, I think they will improve in that way. It's just a gut punch, man. You sit here, 15 hours, 17 hours later, and you're just trying to wrap your head around it, and it's just not where we thought things would be. So we've addressed LSU in the secondary. We've addressed the lack of running game. We've addressed some of the coaching decisions there. I also want to talk about some of the positives I saw in this game. We'll certainly get to the way that Harold Perkins was used as well. There's still a lot to chew on here on this Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. I hope your Labor Day is going very well. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.